Artifacts unearthed by archaeologists can be incredibly eerie, as these excavated objects clearly demonstrate. The relics I have for you today are both unsettling and deeply mysterious. The stranger the history, the deeper the mystery becomes. You might find yourself wishing the truth had remained buried, and here are 25 creepy relics from the ancient world. But before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any new content. With that said, let's start digging. Number 25. The Screaming Mummies, Egyptian mummies, are creepy on their own. But these are extra unsettling because they died screaming. Or at the very least, they died with their mouths agape. These so-called screaming mummies are believed to have met their end through violence, poisoning, or even being buried alive. One famous case is Unknown Man, who has a fascinating backstory. He could be the 2,500-year-old body of Prince Penaware, a son of Pharaoh Ramses III, who conspired against his father and was likely executed. Another example is a 3,500-year-old female mummy discovered near Luxor. A study released in 2024 suggested her open mouth resulted from a cadaveric spasm, a stiffening of the muscles from the moment of death. Whether they were truly screaming or not, these mummies certainly give us the chills. Number 24. Tollund Man preserves bodies to absolute perfection. A fact we know thanks to the story of the Tollund Man. This prehistoric individual was found in a peat bog in Denmark in 1950. He was buried in the peat, away from the oxygen that would have otherwise decomposed his remains. How did he die, according to experts? The Tollund Man was apparently hanged during the Iron Age. A leather noose is still tightly in place around his neck, perfectly preserved by the peat. His death is believed to have been a ritualistic sacrifice to the gods. Archaeologists even analyzed the contents of his stomacha, a combination of seeds and porridge which may have been part of the final ritual. We also have an idea of his final expression. Despite his violent death, his face looks surprisingly peaceful, if not a little peevish. Number 23. Aztec death whistles. That terrifying sound you're hearing isn't a horror movie effect. It's the chilling noise of an Aztec death whistle. How does this whistle produce such a sound? If you look inside, you'll see it resembles the interior of a heart more than a typical clay or ceramic instrument. When you blow into it, internal chambers create vibrations like a regular whistle. But this device distorts the sound in a truly disturbing way. These whistles may have been used during human sacrifices, a grim scenario made even worse by such an unsettling soundtrack. Experts also think the Aztecs sounded them during battle to intimidate and frighten even the toughest warriors. Combined with their scary, skull-like design, the Aztec death whistle seems like something straight out of a nightmare. Number 22. Egyptian Canopic jars. These jars were a creepy storage system for the deceased in ancient Egypt. It's well known that bodies were mummified, but they weren't placed in their sarcophagi with all their organs intact. The heart was left in the chest, but other organs like the stomach, lungs, liver, and intestines were removed and placed into a set of 4 containers. These canopic jars, crafted from pottery, wood, limestone, and other materials, kept a person's innards safe for the journey to the afterlife. The jar lids represented the heads of the 4 sons of the god Horus, whose task was to guard the mortal remains. Imsiti, with a human head, looked after the liver. Hapi, the baboon, protected the lungs. Duamutef, the jackal, guarded the stomach. Kabasonif, the falcon, watched over the intestines. Number 21. Lizard figurines of Ubaid. Could these clay statues be remnants of a lizard civilization that lived on Earth thousands of years ago? Probably not, but you can't blame people's imaginations for running wild. The figurines were first discovered in southern Iraq in the early 20th century and belonged to the Ubaid culture, which thrived between 5,500 and 3,700 BCE, where they performed rituals, possibly in honor of Enki, the Sumerian god. Some experts believe the figurines are connected to Enki, though there's no conclusive evidence to confirm their true purpose. They've been found in eerie places like graves, and some sculptures depict the lizard-like figures holding babies. They are certainly not what you would call cute and cuddly. Number Archer, the Chavín Raimondi. Stela, the Chavín Raimondi. Stela is an ancient stone monolith that you can view publicly at the famous Chavín de Huántar site in Peru. However, once you've seen it, you might wish you hadn't. It's quite a frightening sight. It's depicting the iconic staff god, complete with fangs, claws, and a multitude of serpents, making it particularly intimidating. Ancient cultures, like the Chavín, carved the staff god to show two different aspects. Viewed one way, it shows a frowning deity. Flip it upside down, and the expression transforms into a smile. This technique, known as contour rivalry, is a literal embodiment of the saying, "Turn that frown upside down." Number 19. Labyrinth of Knossos. Have you heard the ancient Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur? It might surprise you to learn that the maze from the story is based on a kind of real place. I say kind of because while the Labyrinth of Knossos is legendary, the archaeological site of the Palace of Knossos is very much real. In fact, you can visit it and get a sense of its incredibly complex architectural structure, which is thought to have inspired the fabled labyrinth that Theseus bravely entered. People have searched for an actual physical labyrinth, but so far, it has remained within the storybooks. And since the labyrinth was also home to the terrifying Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, that's probably for the best. It's the last thing you'd want to encounter while trying to find your way out of a maze. Number 18. Cueva de las Lechuzas. This is a creepy location with its own collection of bizarre creatures and unsettling sounds. The Cueva de las Lechuzas, Cave of the Owls in Peru's Tingo Maria National Park is, as the name suggests, a cave so anyone with a fear of the dark is already unnerved. The name seems pretty cool until you learn there are no owls inside. Instead, the cave is home to thousands of oilbirds, which communicate using echolocation, bouncing their clicks and sounds off the cave walls. Bats also reside there, enhancing the ick factor for many. The cave also features strange rock formations, with one stalagmite nicknamed the Thinker for its resemblance to the famous sculpture. What else lies within? No one has fully explored the cave, which seems to extend for thousands of feet. It's not a recommended activity, with even experienced explorers giving it a wide berth. Plus, who knows what you might find at its deepest end. Number 17. The Göbekli Tepe Pillars. These structures are like an ancient zoo rendered in stone. The Neolithic archaeological site of Göbekli Tepe in southeastern Turkey features massive T-shaped pillars made of limestone, carved with images of some of nature's most feared predators. Scorpions, snakes, and lions are depicted, as well as vultures, creatures known for picking the bones of victims clean. Some of these pillars stand over 5 meters high, towering over any visitor. They are arranged in circles, so you are surrounded by these powerful and wild scenes no matter where you turn. The pillars rank among the oldest known megalithic constructions in history. But what is the meaning of all these wild beasts? Experts believe they relate to rituals and reveal beliefs about the power of the supernatural world. You can also find carvings of humans there, though they are unlike any humans you've seen before. They look so strange. They could even be depictions of aliens. Number 16. Trundholm Sun Chariot. This artifact looks weird and creepy. But is there a perfectly wholesome explanation behind it? It's dating back to the Nordic Bronze Age. The Trundholm Sun Chariot was discovered in 1902 in a peat bog on a Danish island, which is where its name originates. The chariot, complete with a horse, held immense religious significance for prehistoric people. It represents their belief system about how the sun was pulled across the sky by a mighty steed. It's a fascinating concept when you think about Zeton Danhua. Sure, such ideas are now a thing of the past. Number 15. Exorcism Tablet. It may look like an old chunk of stone, but this is actually a special exorcism tablet from Babylonian times. The hand-sized tablet is made of clay and functions as both an illustration and an instructional guide. The image on it depicts a bearded ghost with a woman who is apparently the ghost's lover. I don't have time to get into all the details of that relationship, but the basic idea is that ghosts could be sent back to the underworld by a female-shaped spirit catcher. The instructions for the exorcism are written in cuneiform, an ancient system of writing. This exorcism tablet is the oldest known artwork depicting a ghost and was rediscovered by a curator exploring the vaults of the British Museum in 2021. It had been part of the museum's collection since the 19th century, secrets remaining hidden until the 21st. Number 14. The Oracle Bones. Can bones be used to predict the future? Welcome to ancient China, where during the Shang dynasty, people practiced the art of divination using ox shoulder bones and turtle shells. These oracle bones were inscribed with questions, giving us a fascinating window into that long-forgotten world. The process involved carving a question onto the bone surface and then applying heat, which caused it to crack. A mystical figure known as a diviner would then interpret the pattern of the cracks to determine the answer. What kind of questions did people ask? They ranged from everyday concerns about the weather to critical matters of state, royalty, and military campaigns. Make no bones about it, this was a very serious business. Number 13. Demon bowls. Ancient Mesopotamians believed you could literally trap a demon in a bowl. These demon bowls date from between the 5th and 7th centuries and were rediscovered in the mid-19th century. How did this system work? The clay bowls were placed inside homes for protection against evil spirits, but you wouldn't find them in a cupboard. Instead, they were turned upside down and buried, often under the floor or in doorways. Incantations or magical words were written on the bowls, typically in a spiral formation. The malevolent forces were supposed to be drawn into the inscriptions and then trapped under the enchanted pottery, sealed away from bothering the household forever. Number 12. The Hand of Sabazius. All right, hands up. Who wants to be a member of the cult of Sabazius? That question isn't as funny as it sounds, because this unusual organization carried around disembodied hands as part of their rituals. Before you get too freaked out, these weren't real hands, but bronze replicas engraved with symbols like snakes, frogs, and other occult imagery. Examples of the Hand of Sabazius are found in the Benedictio Latina gesture, where the pinky and ring finger are tucked in while the other fingers are spread out. These hands were typically attached to the tops of poles for use in public ceremonies. You can also find small compartments hidden inside the wrist section, though we don't know what was stored in them. To be honest, the full purpose behind the Hands of Sabazius remains unknown. We do know that Sabazius was an ancient god of fertility and vegetation, worshipped by Thracians, Greeks, and Romans. The use of these gnarly-looking hands as cult objects is a creepy mystery, and one that should perhaps stay that way. Number 11. Hittite plague prayers. In the days before modern medicine, ancient cultures had their own ways of dealing with epidemics. When the Hittite civilization was struck by a plague around the mid-14th century BCE, they turned to prayer, inscribing their pleas onto tablets for the gods to see. They referred to the plague as the Hand of Nergal, Nergal being a powerful god of war and pestilence in Mesopotamian religion. This reflected the Hittite belief that the plague was a divine punishment for failing to observe proper religious routines. The Hittites relied heavily on rituals in their daily life, especially when confronting the Hand of Nergal. They performed confessions of wrongdoing and made sacrifices. Yet, despite their efforts, the plague persisted for a very long time. We don't know precisely how long, but records suggest it lasted for years, or even decades. The situation grew so desperate they even invoked demons and spirits for help. Eventually, the disease thought to be tularemia, or rabbit fever, subsided. But by then, immense damage had been done to both the Hittite population and the broader Bronze Age world. Their prayer tablets remain as a haunting record of this desperate struggle. Number 10. Orphic gold tablets. The name Orphic gold tablets is connected to Orpheus, the legendary musician who journeyed to the underworld to rescue his wife. Also known as soul passports, these thin pieces of gold foil contained instructions for navigating the afterlife and were buried with the dead in ancient Greece. Why would you need instructions for the next world? Well, making a wrong move could have dire, if not fatal, consequences for your spirit. First, you had to correctly state your identity to the guardians of the underworld. That sounds straightforward enough, but then you had to drink from a specific spring. You had to choose carefully between two options. One was the spring of memory, and the other was the spring of oblivion. And you definitely did not want to choose the wrong one. After all, you already had enough on your mind just being deceased. Number 9. The Etruscan Liber. Linteus. The ancient Egyptians believed in recycling, it seems. The Etruscan Liber Linteus, also called the Linen Book of Zagreb, was originally an important Etruscan religious text written on linen. However, that didn't stop someone from later cutting it into strips and using it to wrap an Egyptian mummy. The contents of the book are believed to be a ceremonial calendar and likely held no personal significance to the corpse in the sarcophagus. It's possible the embalmers simply needed linen in a hurry. The Etruscan civilization was eventually absorbed into the Roman Empire and died out. making the discovery of this text incredibly important. In fact, it is the longest extant Etruscan text and one of the oldest known examples of Etruscan literature. So, it's a good thing they accidentally preserved it by turning it into mummy wrappings. Number 8. Shigir Idol. The Shigir Idol, named after the Russian peat bog where it was found, is one of archaeology's true enigmas. This eerie-looking sculpture is made from a larch wood log, which was kept in near storeroom condition by the preserving properties of the peat. The bog turned out to be the perfect place for the idol's preservation. It is widely acknowledged as the oldest known wooden statue in the world, dating to approximately 11,000 to 12,000 years old. Originally measuring over 17 feet high, we can see about 9 feet of it today following a reconstruction. Its surface is covered in carvings of human faces, hands, and complex geometric shapes. What do these carvings mean? Experts have proposed various theories. The symbols could represent a creation myth, a map, or even a warning of some kind. But if we knew exactly what the Shigir Idol was for, it wouldn't be such a compelling mystery, would it? Number 7. Venus figurines dating back to around 20,000 to 30,000 years ago. Venus figurines depict the female form, often with exaggerated features associated with fertility. These are not thought to be portraits of real prehistoric women, but rather goddess-like symbols, crafted from stone, clay, ivory, and other materials. They have been excavated across Europe and into Western Asia. We have been calling them Venus figurines since the mid-19th century. As for what the prehistoric peoples who made them actually called them, your guess is as good as mine. Number 6. The Chacmool Statues. These strange statues from ancient Mesoamerican culture look like they're posing like modern-day influencers, but in reality, they are fascinating and solemn relics. The truth behind the statues is less glamorous. They served as ceremonial altars. This means some pretty visceral items were placed in a bowl or receptacle positioned on their stomachs. Human hearts were left as offerings on top of the Chacmool, along with less gruesome items like food and incense. You would typically find these statues positioned at the entrance of temples or in other sacred places. Historians believe the Chacmool symbolized an intermediary point between worlds, a place where mortals and gods could interact through rituals like sacrifice. This is one artifact whose backstory is definitively creepier than its appearance. Number 5. Baal Statues. How did ancient Mediterranean cultures appease their gods during times of crisis? You may not want to know the answer. Evidence suggests they sometimes resorted to child sacrifice, as you heard correctly. This story is not for the faint of heart, and it centers on statues of Baal. He was a deity of fertility and weather, and the chief god of the Carthaginian civilization. Baal was often partnered with Tanit, a goddess of war and destruction. How do we know these statues are connected to child sacrifice? Primarily from the urns discovered alongside them, which contain the cremated remains of infants and young children. Ultimately, there is debate about this grim practice. Is it a historical reality, or was it propaganda spread by the Romans, who fought and ultimately defeated the Carthaginians in a series of 3 brutal wars? To this day, we still don't know for certain. Number 4. The Tomb of Orcus, featuring disturbing scenes of demons torturing and attacking humans. The wall paintings in the Tomb of Orcus stay with you long after you've seen them. Which demons are shown here? There's Chavín, a variation of the Greek ferryman Charon. This blue-skinned figure carries a hammer and acts as a guide to the afterlife. You'll also see a winged female demon named Vanth, who also assisted souls on their journey. As for Orcus himself, he was an Etruscan Roman god of the underworld. The burial chamber, named in his honor, presents a hellish vision of the afterlife. The tomb is located in Tarquinia, central Italy, and its artwork is part of the older Etruscan belief system. Their version of the next world seems far harsher than that of the later Romans, who also incorporated these deities into their own culture. Number 3. Maya bloodletting tools. Not all ancient sacrificial rituals resulted in death, but they were still incredibly painful. The ancient Maya were known to practice bloodletting, piercing a person's skin to draw blood as an offering, and the tools they used will make you wince. In addition to sharp blades and needles, practitioners used stingray spines. These were considered highly symbolic, with the sharp spine seen as a transcendent object. Why? It might be related to the venom some stingrays possess, which could have induced hallucinations, bringing the bloodletter closer to the supernatural world. Once the blood was drawn, it was often smeared on idols or collected on paper and burned, the rising smoke carrying the offering to the gods. This was definitely not a ritual for the squeamish. Number 2. Brak idols. If the idea of being stared at gives you the creeps, then you'll want to avoid our next set of artifacts. The Brak idols come from the Uruk period around 5,000 to 6,000 years ago in ancient Mesopotamia. They are named after the site where they were found, Tel Brak, an ancient city in modern-day Syria. Made from alabaster and other stones, these relics with their oversized, staring eyes are believed to have been sacred votive offerings. They were discovered by the thousands in a structure archaeologists dubbed the Eye Temple. They could represent gods, or they could be images of the worshippers themselves, offering their gaze to the deity. Whatever they are, they have an uncanny and unsettling presence. Number 1. Ancient Olmec baby figurines. These expressive figurines resemble babies and were sculpted by the ancient Mesoamerican Olmec civilization. The clay artifacts are often shown seated or reclining in various positions. Are they meant to be actual infants, or are they simply depictions of small, baby-like adults? They certainly walk a creepy line between the two. What makes them even more unnerving is that their true purpose is completely unknown. One theory suggests the figurines represent sacrificed infants, which doesn't help tone down the fright factor at all. The figurines have a doll-like quality. You could say they were the ancient world's equivalent of a Chucky doll. These creepy Olmec babies are enough to make anyone cry, mommy. From long-buried secrets to hidden body parts, we've covered some truly strange artifacts. Now, it's time for our closing question. What part of Albert Einstein's anatomy is said to be kept in a safe deposit box in New York City? Is it A, his nose, B, his hand, C, his eyes, or D, his mustache? Let me know your answers in the comments below. Has this list given you an appetite for more ancient artifacts? Then you need to check out our next video. Ancient Asian artifacts that'll make you rethink history, because it's ready to watch right here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll catch you guys next time. See you.